July 27, 2012, just doing a damage assessment video of the Corvair. As you can see, the back window is smashed completely out, and I'm going to have to replace it. Even though I just resealed that one a year and a half ago. Stupid punks broke it, and I know who it was, but the police won't do anything about it. Isn't that nice of them? And so yeah, I don't know what kind of damage I've done to the engine. If I stand back here, maybe you can see how peeled the paint is on my blower, on my blower shroud. It's just all peeling off from the heat that it took, because I had the tunes cranked and I didn't know my engine was overheating. As you can see, the belt popped off. That's what killed it. And so I don't know what kind of damage I've done. It seemed to be smoking more out of the left exhaust pipe than the right, so I'm assuming whatever happened is probably more damaged on the left bank. So I'm going to take a look at it now. I'm finally feeling up to it, and I'm going to check out the engine today and see what I need to replace, or if I need to take the engine out completely and rebuild it, or what. It's not seized anymore. It cooled down and it will now turn over. It didn't fire. I didn't want to turn. I just was surprised it turned over, and I just let it crank once, and didn't want to crank it any further until I'm, sure I'm not doing further damage. So I'm going to check out the engine today and see if I can figure out just what kind of parts I need to replace, or what's going on. The dipstick popped up out of the hole pretty viciously when I cranked it that one time, so some kind of back pressure going on there. The cylinders could have oil in them. I don't know. I haven't checked everything out yet, so could be a hole in a piston, could be a bunch of things. So anyway, gonna start checking it out now, and see if I can get Sooke 68 to come back to life. So I'll do another video really soon with an update. Thanks. Okay, little update video. I decided to get brave and crank it again just to have a listen, since it cranked before. And it cranked, it sounded okay, and it actually fired up, believe it or not. And a lot of smoke came out, so I'm assuming there was quite a bit of oil in the cylinders from the overheat, because I got this open crankcase vent above the engine, and it spewed out of here and went right into the blower, and it came out, the bottom, and as you can see, it's leaking like a sieve right now. My crank seals blew out, I think. So I just had it running, but I shut it off because I have this oil pressure gauge up here, and it said there was 0 oil pressure. And as you can see, it popped the dipstick out again. Okay, here's the dipstick lying over here. It was just in there when I started it, so it's a little bit of back pressure in the crankcase. So I'm going to do a little investigating. There's no oil pressure, but there is apparently air pressure in the crankcase. So I'm going to check that out. Okay, well, I got the Corvair to start, but I shut it off because it had no oil pressure, and I also was getting some smoke out of the left bank. So I pulled the spark plug out of cylinder number 6, and it was full of oil. And I also noticed there's a couple little nicks, if you notice, right on the side, on the edge of this spark plug, and right on the electrode. I don't know if you can see it in this video, but there's a shiny spot there. There's a nice little gouge in it. Something has impacted this spark plug. I think you can see it in the video there. I'm not sure. But this spark plug's taken a couple little impacts. So I'm guessing my number 6 piston came apart. And that would explain all the oil in the cylinder and the hits to the spark plug here. And that would explain why it's running rough when it was running, and why smoke's coming out of the left bank. And it would also explain why the dipstick
pops out once in a while, because when this spark plug wasn't doused in oil, it would fire once in a while and blow the dipstick right out of the crankcase. So I guess I've got a piston to replace in cylinder number 6, and I'm gonna just take the top half of the engine apart, get in the crankcase now, and see if I have any other damaged pistons. But it did start up and run, and I got it to idle, so it sounded like it was running on 5. So I guess I just got one. Kind of disappointed with myself for starting it up now that I know that there's a damaged piston. I actually thought there wasn't. But damage done. Time to get in there and see if I can replace this piston without having to drop the engine out. And then I can drive it again, because the rest of the engine seems to have survived. Okay, update coming soon. Okay, as you can see, I've got the top half of the motor stripped down so I could see inside, and there are some little metal bits sticking out of the cylinder number 6, and there was some in the manifold as well. And everything else looks okay. Definitely a hole in the piston. If you look in cylinder number 6 here, well, I shine the flashlight into the spark plug hole, you will see that there's plenty of light coming through there. You see that light coming through this piston, so I can see the reflection of the spark plug hole and flashlight in the oil. So the whole top of this piston's basically just come apart. So I'm gonna have to take the head off and clean it up, see if the cylinder's been damaged badly. Maybe give it a hone if it's not, and pop a new piston in there. It did start up and run. I kind of regret doing that now that I know there was a damaged piston in there, but it did run on 5 and it sounded okay, so if I can get this one cylinder fixed up, we should be alright. I think I'm going to try to do it in the car here. It'd save me a lot of time. So I'm just going to pull that head off, take the shrouding off tomorrow, and pull the head, get that bad piston out of there, and clean it up, see if I can salvage the cylinder. If not, I'll have to get another cylinder. I think I have a couple kicking around. Not sure if I have one for this engine, since this is a 102. I think they're the same as the 110 though, cylinder-wise. So anyway, now I know exactly what's wrong with it. Cylinder number 6 has got a big hole in it. So I'm going to fix piston number 6. Piston number 6, not cylinder number 6. So I got to fix piston number 6, and then we should be back in action. Alright, see you in the next video. Okay, well, I've got the engine dropped down, and I got the head off. Got it all apart now, and yeah, there's a lot of damage in there. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to replace all 3 pistons on this side. As you can see in the head here, there's a lot of dents in the head around the valves, like hundreds of hits in this middle cylinder here. And number 6, the one that blew up, has got the same deal, lots of metal bits and dents. As you can see, piston number 6 has a giant hole right in the center. Next one over is pretty beat up. It doesn't have a hole in it, but I think it's going to need to be replaced. And this one here is rough on top. Probably would be a good idea to replace it too. So I got 3 bad pistons. 1 really bad piston. The cylinders don't look bad. They could actually be okay with a nice hone job. I think they didn't even seem to get any scratches. It's pretty impressive, actually. But the head is in rough shape. I'm going to try to polish it up and get the dents cleaned up, but I don't know, it's pretty rough. Guess we'll have to wait and see how good she cleans up. And
I have to go through my parts and see if I have a piston. I don't think I do. So I think I'm stuck. I gotta get a couple pistons for this 102. I think they're the same as the 110. Piston wise anyway. I'll find out though, and pop a couple pistons in here, clean it up, put her back together, and it already ran like this, so I mean, once I clean it up and put it back together and get all the metal out of here, we should be in good shape. Alright, so I'll give you an update soon. Maybe I'll get these pistons out this afternoon and start cleaning it up. So here's cylinder number 6. It's actually, it came out pretty good. I haven't even honed it yet. I just gave it a clean with the cloth and it's looking in really good shape. I got really lucky there. It didn't get damaged at all that I can see. There's not even a scratch in it. It's clean as a whistle. So with a light hone, it'll be fine. The piston, however, is toast. In fact, I can't believe how damaged it is, considering there's no damage to the cylinder. Huge hole in the middle, you can see, and the edges are really bad. A couple corners missing. And the worst part is there's little flecks of metal that have been jammed into the rings. But yet there's no damage to the cylinder, not at all. There's not a scratch in it. Clean as a whistle. So, I guess, you know, the aluminum's a lighter metal than the pounding. So, yeah, I'm going to replace this piston, and looks like I'm going to have to replace piston number 4 and number 2, because they're in rough shape as well. But we're getting there, getting the bad parts out now anyway. Assessing how bad the damage is and what needs to be replaced. Then I'm going to have to give this thing a really good cleaning. I checked out the right bank and the spark plugs are clean and everything looks really good over there, so I'm not going to touch it because it's really clean. Even on the inside there's no metal flecks or anything, so I'm going to give it a really good cleaning. And I've had the carburetor's off, it's just sitting there. Checked in the manifold, it's all clean, so looks like it was the left bank that came apart on me. So got some left bank rebuilding to do here, and I don't think I have any pistons. I might have to hunt some down. I'm gonna go look in my van full of Corvair junk and see what I got. Okay, check you later.